Well, yes. Come back to Let's Play Higurashi Minagoroshi. You know what? I was just hovering over the Steam page when, booting up the game there, and saw this, the silhouette of a face and shoulders, kind of profile kind of thing, look, hovering over it, and it just said single player, and for some reason I was like, you know what? That sounds like that could be like the perfect ad for gamers. It's just like, meet single gamers in your location, your area. It's like, I don't know why. But, man, I'm dreading it, man. I'm dreading a few things here. One, I'm dreading, because today is 25th, so I'm gonna try to upload without, being like, no, I won't upload that day because I can't be asked. And the reason why I usually can't be asked is either because I'll be too tired at the time, or simply writing out a freaking novel worth of a video description is just too tedious. I don't have to write out a full summary of what happens in each part, but I feel the compulsion to do so. This freaking takes forever, and I just dread it every time. And the other thing I'm dreading is, well, we shall soon see. Maybe I can get this done in 2 parts, because if not, then it's going to have a mighty cliffhanger, because it'll have to wait till November, otherwise, for the conclusion of this arc. Today is almost over, and I'm going to survive the day I'm supposed to die. Does that mean I escaped my deadly fate? No, I'll have to fight endlessly from tomorrow on. Yes, I've read this dialogue. I'm going to discuss with Ooishi. Since he's not here, I don't know what to do. Suddenly the phone rang, breaking the silence. Is that Ooishi-san? It's a call from beyond the grave. Hello, this is a Friday residence. Oh, sorry to call you this late. This is Okinomiya calling from the Okinomiya Police Department. By any chance is Detective Ooishi there with you? No, we've been waiting for him for a long time. I see. We'll send out more officers, so will you tell the ones there to leave once their relief comes? I mean, the Mountain Dogs, can they really go through with their plan with all this? I mean, they'd be mighty suspicious. Well, then again, they don't know of the Mountain Dog's existence, really, do they? Okay, I'll do that. So where's Ooishi? We got a call from him this evening saying he was heading there directly, so we thought he'd be with you already. The officers were supposed to return after Ooishi arrived, but they haven't come back, so we were wondering what was going on. That's what I'd like to know, but arguing with the man on the phone wouldn't accomplish anything. I hung up and gave the message to the officers downstairs. Looked like everyone already heard our exchange on the phone. And what's going on? It's way too late. Maybe he ran into some important case that he had to take care of. More important than solving the case that he's been wanting to solve for many years? I doubt it. I mean, let's say that, saying that, but we know what happened to him. He got shot. And you know what I find weird is they specifically mentioned the snipers were, directed at their heads. And they probably shot Kumagai in the head, but they shot Ooishi in the chest. Were they just like, nah, just shoot him straight through the heart because he's too late? He would have called us if so. He told us that he was on his way. I think he'd call us if something was going on. Was he attacked by Tokyo? No way. But if there really is, really are as scary as Rika told us, that might be possible. He probably had something to take care of. I bet he forgot to call us. Remember, he's a tough guy. No one can take him down that easily, unless there's, a bunch of snipers on him. And the funny thing is, Ooishi actually had a run-in with the Mountain Dogs before. Didn't know who they were, just thought they were like thugs or, angry villagers or something, And if you have no idea what I'm referring to, it's the 4th question arc. I think it was called... Let me check. Was it Himatsubushi? Was that the name of that arc? 2, 3, 4... Is it? Yeah, Himatsubushi, that's the name of that arc. Because in that one, it takes place several years prior to the events of the plot here. And that was where Akasaka was the protagonist, and he met up with Ooishi in Okinomiya, and they were like there to find and rescue the president of construction or whatever's son that the mounted dogs, now that we found out it was them, kidnapped because they were like, no, we gotta put a stop to this, it's interfering with our plans, kind of thing, you know? That was their whole, role. And then after that, it was the Hinomisawa syndrome and all that. But basically, Ooishi had a fight with one of them when they confronted them to save the kid. So, he's actually fought them before. I do hope we get there soon. Sudoku yawned. Everyone laughs, but some of them are trying not to yawn themselves. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street. You gotta stay awake, man. We can't stay up forever. We decided that we'd call it a night once the replacement officers arrived. I'm sure I've survived past the time I'm supposed to die. That's probably because the police were protecting me. I feel like for Rika, it's just like, until you get to probably like 8 a.m. or something, you're still in danger. Maybe even after that. Perhaps both Takano and the mountain dogs are also on my side, and they took care of the murderer. No, they are the murderer. I don't know who is changing my fate. Maybe my fate hasn't been changed, and I'm going to get killed soon anyway. I don't know if it's because of the police or because of the mountain dogs, but the only thing I know for sure is that I'm still alive. Soon I hear the noise of someone walking on the gravel on the shrine grounds. One of my friends suggested I might be Ooishi, but I doubt it. I don't want to expect him and be disappointed when it's not. I'm starting to think like Hanyu. Good evening, I'm Komiyama. I'm from the Okinomiya Police Department. It wasn't Ooishi, 2 of his fellow detectives that arrived instead. They were going to stay downstairs and have the 4 officers return home. They also told my friends to leave. You know what I'm wondering now? What if it's the mountain dogs pretending to be from the Okinomiya Police Department to get rid of any further security that Rika has? We'll stay here to protect her, so please go home. Families must be worried about you. Thank you so much, everyone. The detectives are here, so I'm okay now. Wait. Oh, I thought that was one of them. Thanks so much, everyone. The detectives are here, so I'm okay now. Are you sure? We'll stay here tonight if you like. I'm fine. Besides, I don't have any extra pajamas and blankets for you guys. See you tomorrow then. We'll try and stay with you as much as we can from now on. How about we do club activities here after school? That would be wonderful. My flow might break with all these people here. It might really break. Well, Rika-chama, we're going home now, but be careful. Don't go out alone in the dark under any circumstances. I'll be careful. Alright, see you tomorrow. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Am I really gonna see them tomorrow? I have no clue. I've tried so many things over the past 100 years. I've done many things and I have memories of most of them. That's why I feel so scared on the day I die. It's the only day that I have no memory of. Yeah, and that's the main issue really, isn't it? If she could just remember how she died, she'd realize that Takano and the mountain dogs are the ones behind it. And then, I have not even a suspicion of them, but know for a fact they're behind it and could act accordingly. I mean, it's pretty much like facing up against a mountain when you're out of shape or something. It's like, shit, this is going to be difficult. I don't even know if I'm approaching or escaping my death right now. All I know is that this fear is going to continue until I find some kind of solution. As I started getting ready to go to bed, Sadoko suggested that I should sleep in my regular clothes rather than in my pajamas. Just like, hey Rika, if you're gonna die, you die in your regular clothes, okay? She was thinking that I should remain dressed, just in case someone tries to attack me in my sleep. It sounded ridiculous, but she was just trying to be considerate. I decided to do what she told me to. Sadoko seemed so sleepy until a few minutes ago, but she suddenly started passionately explaining to me all the traps she set on the shrine grounds. She assured me that strangers will end up trapped if they try to sneak inside this building. To someone else, it might sound like she was just trying to brag, but Sadoko was trying to make me feel better. After everyone else left, she noticed how scared I looked. Sadoko's kindness and everyone else's kindness. I feel it was the right decision for me to talk to my friends, even if they won't end up changing my fate. Rika. Hanyu showed up again. You know, frickin' Hanyu can go around all detective. Why didn't she frickin' survey the grounds around? But no, Hanyu's just like all cynical and just like, no, your fate won't be changed. You gotta wait for a miracle to happen. It's like, Hanyu, why didn't you frickin' lend a hand, for crying out loud? You just go wandering around or observing, while only Rika can talk to you and see you. And I guess people suffering with the Hinabizawa syndrome and going to a later stages can also faintly detect Hanyu's presence. But you get the idea. Why didn't she just, patrol the area? Maybe she'll come across the mountain dogs and be like, hey, Rika, I kind of know what's going on now. But no, she just kind of doesn't bother. She looked upset, so she was probably still thinking that I could get killed at any minute. But I'm actually starting to feel a little better. I might get killed tomorrow, but I feel like I can rest safely at least tonight. And here's a thought. Every time Rika gets killed, where the fuck is Hanyu? Hanyu's usually close by. So has Hanyu ever actually seen what happens? That's a good point. Maybe that's why. Maybe Hanyu is it still wouldn't make sense, but maybe the reason why she's so cynical about it is because she knows what Rika's actually up against, who her actual murderer is, and knows that it'd be hopeless to try to stop it, try to prevent it, because it's just... the odds are, really stacked against them. So she doesn't even tell. I don't know. That could be a possibility, or she could just wander off whenever that happens, because she doesn't want to see Rika die, and thus never knows who killed her herself. Or was there an explanation for how Hanyu doesn't know either? I can't remember. I'm more concerned about the fact that Ooishi didn't show up. Still, even if he didn't, the detectives will be here, and we'll stay on guard downstairs without sleeping. That is assuming they are actually, police officers and not just the mountain dogs. Oh, wrong thing. Just checking to see if I read that. We have sent such a response, and we don't reveal at any moment, but our mountains are unavailable. As long as they're here, I think I'll be safe tonight. What's wrong? Are you hungry? I didn't eat anything sweet today. Do you want me to drink some juice? And you would usually cheer right up when I suggested drinking some juice. But not this time. Her face looked pale, as if she wasn't even alive. Something out of the ordinary had clearly happened. What's wrong? It's almost time. The fact she's seems to know when her time is up kind of makes it seem like she, knows a bit about what's going on. Knows the mountain dogs are out there stationed to kill her. That sounded far more like a declaration than a prediction. Even Hanyu doesn't have any memories of my death. I mean, does her memories get wiped for whatever reason each time they go into a new world? Because she remembers a lot. Why would she not remember this? Or maybe, like, no, it still doesn't make sense. Maybe she's just hiding the truth from her, for whatever reason. Like I said, maybe because the odds are so stacked against Rika that there's no real reason to tell her, I don't know. There's no way she can tell when I will be killed. However, she sounded so certain just now. Perhaps we can feel it in the very cells of our body. Our bodies understand fate far better than we do. I wonder if she maybe like saw Ooishi get killed as well. I kind of doubt it, but there's that possibility. Up until now, I felt reassured that we could get through it somehow if we're all together. But as I clung to that life preserver with a whole leaking air, I was starting to drown in a sea of despair and struggling to keep my head above water. No, I can't let myself feel that way. I have to believe in the heart of the cards of fate. Well, no, not the cards of fate, because her fate kind of sucks. It's like, oh, I've just got shitty cards. It's okay, Hanyu. I'm going to fight. Even if I get killed tomorrow, I'm not going to die tonight. Hanyu just gave me a look of faint sadness. That silence told me that my pitiful hope was going to push me down into a futile reality. I stared at Satoko as she continued to brag about her traps. If I'm getting killed shortly, Satoko won't be safe either. I quickly interrupted her talks about traps. The time was 1 in the morning. See, I'm right. If she can survive till 8, maybe she'll have a chance. And I click on the wrong thing again. It just felt kind of abrupt the way it switched there. As it's hardly a big city, 1 a.m. and enemies out in the middle of the night. The darkness here gets very deep. And it's like in a forested-looking area as well. There was light leaking out from the first floor where 2 detectives sat on guard. But everything else was pitch black. Even the moonlight seemed indistinct. It's time. 2 detectives downstairs. It's been more than an hour since the light went out above them. Okay, now we know for certain that those 2 detectives are legit and not just the mountain dogs in disguise. Wait in order to begin the attack. I'm gonna assume this is Takano, because that sounds like something she would say, because she's a freaking witch. What a beautiful night. You have permission to engage. Should we terminate the detectives? Yes, everyone in the Fruity Shrine will be deemed awake tonight. It's better that way. HQ to Phoenix. Commence the mission. Terminate the 2 detectives. You do not have permission to fire. I repeat, you do not have permission to fire your weapons. HQ to Nightingale. Phoenix has commenced mission. Shut down the phone lines. So they're going to be silent assassins then. Roger, we're shutting them down. They had been working to disable the phone lines just in case their target tried to contact the police during the attack. That mission was what Ooishi happened to bump into. Oh. Wow. It's just like, it's just too well organized, man. It's just... it really is. Like, if Hanyu knows about the mountain dogs and Takano being behind everything, I can definitely see how she would see it as bleak and impossible to overcome. Because how the fuck do you overcome that? Let's begin. Phoenix 1 to all units. Be prepared when you enter. Terminate the 2 detectives on the first floor and the 1 companion on the second. Do not leave any evidence. Do not fire your weapons or use any gas. Use your tasers. Remember, they have guns. Do not let them fire. Come on, don't embarrass me, Okinomiya. I'm just doing my job. Phoenix 7 and 8, advance forward. Backup team, secure the perimeter. Roger, we're heading in now. 2 men in uniform slowly approach the building. The mountain dog's uniform is grey, so it didn't blend in with the surroundings at all. However, it doesn't look as suspicious as real camouflage suits. Of course, they look suspicious enough to have creeping up to the house like that anyway. They could both see light leaking from the door and hear the voices of the detectives. Rika would typically use this sliding door to get inside. The door was locked, but the man and dogs had obtained a spare key a long time ago. They put the key in the keyhole, but it wouldn't go in smoothly. They were certain it would make some kind of noise when they turned it. The detectives would notice them the minute they did that. They'd have to rush inside and defeat them in one swift burst. Phoenix 7 and 8 glanced at each other. It's Phoenix 7, we've arrived at the target location. Waiting for your command. Now it'd be funny if the detectives actually heard them and were able to take them out. They're just like, yeah, fuck those guys. Takano here, make it nice and clean. Go ahead. Roger, we're breaking in. Clack, clack. He turned the key in a hurry and opened the lock. By the time the detectives turned around, the door was already open and 2 man and dogs had stepped inside. They had aimed their weapons at the detectives while the latter were still turning around. In a fight like that, the first 2 seconds are the most crucial moments. Detectives collapsed, making minimal noise. There were needles stuck in their bodies, and those needles were connected via wires to the attackers' guns. In other words, the weapons those 2 had weren't ordinary guns. They were stun guns in the shape of firearms. Instead of bullets, they shoot out electric needles that electrocute their victims into unconsciousness. Normally they would be non-lethal, that allowed the shooter to capture their victim without harming them much, but their tasers had been modified. The 2 dogs started walking up the stairs as soon as they confirmed that the detectives were no longer breathing. When the next moment they heard a loud noise above them. This is Phoenix 10. R and her companion have noticed us. They just jumped out from the 2nd floor window. They're running into the forest. Attention Phoenix 4 and 5, they're heading your way. Capture them. Roger, let's go. Phoenix 4 spotted the 2 girls and started after them, but he suddenly stopped and stepped on something hard. With a cheap sound explosion, the area was filled with smoke. Satoko's traps coming into use. That was the trap Satoko had set using firecrackers. That had proven to be a very fortunate idea. The band dogs dropped to the ground, assuming that they were under fire. That gave Rika and Satoko a chance to escape.
Who are they? Are they the organization from Tokyo that you were talking about?
I think so. Just run. We're dead if they catch us.
What's going on? What was that noise?
Wait. No, what's going on? What was that noise? This is Phoenix 5. Someone was shooting at us. Ours escaped. We'll continue the pursuit. Shit. They were just some firecrackers. Damn it. That must be Satoko-chan's handiwork. She's pretty good. What? Hurry up. Don't let them escape inside someone's house. This Phoenix 18, I've spotted a target.
Phoenix 18? How many freaking people do they have?
I need some backup. They know this area very well. If we don't get them now, we'll definitely lose them. This wasn't a game of hide and seek, it was a game of tag. Several men in uniform were chasing after Rika and Satoko. They weren't idiots, so they didn't waste energy on a futile act of shouting wait. This was a quiet, deadly game of tag in the middle of the night.
Where are we going?
Let's split up to try and shake them off. We'll meet at Mi's house. Her basement will be safe and we can contact the police from there. Satoko had no idea that Mion had a basement in her house, but she didn't have time to ask anything about it under her current circumstances. You know, she, in one arc, was in said basement. I'll say nothing more than that, to avoid spoiling the arc that happened in. All she did was nod. The next moment I felt my left foot catch on something and I fell down on the ground. Must have tripped on a rock or a piece of concrete.
Rika!
Get out of here, Satoko. You'll be killed. But Satoko wouldn't move on without me. She came back to lend me a hand. I stood up without her help, but this cost us too much time. One of the men had almost caught up with us. I didn't know what to do. But Satoko, upon seeing him, quickly reacted. Satoko ran towards him and kicked him with all her might. In the balls, right? Oh, no. A foot had landed right in his face. I wish I had a camera. I mean, what the hell? Was he leaning down? How'd she kick him in the face? Did she do a jumping kick? But there were two more of them right behind the first man. I mean, these guys must feel really pathetic after that. It's just like... I got kicked in the face by a little girl. I can see them clearly now. They're the gardeners from that landscape company. They're wearing the same uniforms Okinomiya is always wearing. They must be the mountain dogs. Now I'm certain that Takano is the culprit. Well, now you know. And now that I know that, I can do something about it in the next world. It's just like, Rika's like, yep, I'm fucked here, but now I know. And I'm on you motherfuckers. But if I die now, will I lose my memory again? That's also a fair point. I can't die now. I need to survive so I can keep my memories. Soka took something out of her pocket and threw it at them. It was something like sand and it blinded them. Stoker should be a ninja. However, even that could only buy us a few seconds. Soka tried to run, but she froze as soon as they aimed their weapons. Their stun guns are only shaped like firearms. Soka, not knowing that, thought they were real guns. Well, she has every right to think that because they've been modified. Knowing that, she'll be shot if she turned and ran, Soka tried to attack them instead. Of course, there are three of them. Most would think it impossible to drive them out, but Soka didn't think about that. She had a 100% chance of dying if she tried to run. Then she might be as well fight back, because she might have a 1% chance of defeating them. Stoko is determined to save me even at her own expense. But I can't stay in this world if it means losing Stoko. I'm dying anyway, and I'll die for Stoko's sake than lose her. But another what me was shouting in my mind. If I don't survive this, I'll lose this memory. If I die without keeping this memory, this life and everything I've learned will all be wasted. Should I escape and leave Stoko behind? That's right, I should use the experience to my advantage in my next life. It feels like this is all leading up to a choice, but it isn't. You don't get choices in the Higurashi series. I mean, you do, but they're ultimately meaningless, really. And they're very few and far between. Far between, like, is an understatement in that. Like, we got that one... I think it was a tip where it's like, hey, would you choose this box or this box? It's not really irrelevant, to the plot or anything. I should just let go of her in this world. No way, that would really make me a witch. But I know in my heart, there's no way I can win against these guys. I'm sure their backup will get you if we take time to fight them. Should I fight them for her, or should I leave so I can earn my true enemy? He has time to think all this. It's ridiculous. Wait. Oh. He tricked me then. It was like, oh, you got a choice? Oh, wait. What? That just automatically went A, leave Stoko and keep my memories, or B, save Stoko and lose my memories. It didn't look like I could click on any of those, and it automatically text went. Stoko! Stoko's bravery gives me courage. If I left her, I'd lose my motivation to defeat fate. I don't care if I lose my memories. It only took 100 years for me to get this information. Yeah, that's all well and good and all. It's like, I only took that long. We still got plenty of time to eventually resolve the issue. But didn't Rika and Hanyu kind of discuss that they're, like, getting, like, less and less time they can rewind back? I don't care if I have to spend another 100 years in this same June. I can't leave Stoko. Stoko, I'm fighting too. Rika, I told you to go. I had noticed something. They're only aiming at Stoko. There must be a reason why they can't shoot me. So I stood in front of Stoko to protect her. Just as I expected, they put their guns down and prepared to take us out without weapons. You guys are the mountain dogs. Takano's behind us. Yeah, I'm so stupid. I know who you are, but I chose not to run. I'm not going to run. Even if you're going to kill me now. Someone once told me that fate can be destroyed as easily as a piece of paper. They must think this is my final speech. They let me talk until I was finished. You people are pathetic. That's why you will never kill me. The next moment, one of them dropped to the ground. Keiichi had run towards him and kicked him from behind. Keiichi had kicked him right in the small of his back, and the dog was squirming on the ground. The other two tried to retaliate, but they were too late. Mion grabbed one of the guy's arms from behind and flipped him down to the ground. It must be some kind of martial art. I've seen something like that in an action movie before. Renner tried to push the remaining dog down with all her strength, but that wasn't enough to take him out. He tried to aim his gun at Renner, but she had already done what she was supposed to. All she needed to do was get his attention. Shion had snuck up behind him and she fired her stun gun into his neck. I mean, she carries around a stun gun as well, doesn't she? The stun gun made a snapping noise and the dog fell down to the ground with the rest of his friends. Wow, Kazak told me this was illegally modified. It works pretty well. I mean, she's got a modified stun gun as well. Sean, hit this guy too. Are you guys okay? That was close. We ran so fast it took us a lot of time to catch up.
I'm really glad we stuck around. We were waiting out here in case anything happens. You mean you stayed out your while going back home?
I mean, how the hell did they not get detected by mountain dogs? I guess they were so preoccupied with, focusing on Rika's house, pretty much, that they didn't realize that her friends had stayed behind, hidden out of sight. And they know the area a lot better than the mountain dogs probably as well, because they live there.
Yep, I saw someone who looked suspicious staring at the shrine when we were leaving.
I'm really surprised you saw him in the darkness. Neither lies nor camouflage work on you, huh? You're figuring he would leave if they spoke to him. They secretly staked out that suspicious man. They started following us as soon as they heard the sound of the firecrackers. I never expected us to save like this. We can't stay here any longer. What should we do now?
We're trying to get to Mion's house. We have a basement there, apparently.
The underground storehouse. That's a perfect spot. We've also got some weapons inside there. Shh! Don't say that out loud. Anyway, I think that's a good idea. There's several secret passages in there, so we can get the drop on them.
Come on, let's go. They're still after us.
A white van was approaching us at high speed. This is the trailer music I always use for the October special. But, could I get this arc completed by the time said October special begins? Because then it'd be put on hold. It obviously belonged to the mountain dogs. The van stopped not far from us and more people in uniform jumped out. There were at least 6 of them. If we all ran, the slowest runner might get caught. So we should take them down while we can. I don't know if they have a license, but Mion and Shion know how to drive a car. We can take their van and get away from here. There's 6 of them. That's perfect. Let's beat them unconscious and steal their van.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Let's go get them. Like this well-organized group of, trained assassins getting their asses kicked by a group of kids, pretty much. Mountain dogs were ready to chase us. They had no idea that we would try and attack them instead. Renner's always the first one to make a move in this kind of situation. She gets so determined once a decision is made. She immediately singled out one dog and punched him in the nose. I'm like, what the fuck? They probably did not expect this at all. Another one tried to grab her from behind, but Keiichi kept him in the side, kicked him in the side as hard as he could. I mean, they're not even armed, well, shields, technically. Hey, Renner, watch your back.
I'll leave that to you, Keiichi-kun. Please look after me.
I'm kind of curious about what you were like back in Higurashi. You sure don't hesitate to punch people. And you don't hesitate to zap people with an illegal stun gun. Given that Shion had that stun gun, the mountain dogs were reluctant to go after her. They were scared of the very dangerous weapon she had in her hand. Thanks to that, Shion had stopped one of them for certain. It was fortunate for us that they didn't have any guns of their own. They had no way of countering Shion's stun gun. Stoker attacked him from behind. She encircled his neck with a jump rope and pulled it. What, did she bring a jump rope with her? What? She unfolded up, quickly hitting him with her stun. What was I doing during all that? The only thing I can do is run around and try to get their attention. They're pursuing me after all. They want to catch me more than anything else. But that leaves them open to attack from my friends. Hitch had already hit the one trying to grab me. I think we have a chance here. We may not be able to take all of them down, but we can try and find a chance to escape to their vehicle. With what Rika said, I thought those guys would be really strong, but they're not that bad. That's just how strong the club members are. I'm being afraid is probably the secret strength. Since club activities are practically trained to rid you of your hesitation. If we all fight together, we can win this 6-on-6 battle. If any one of us wasn't here, they'd beat us easily. We'd end up dead. If my friends hadn't stayed behind, I would have been killed by now. We can do it! We can make it! The dog Shion took down with her stun gun was starting to wake up. The ones that we knocked out earlier were also up and chasing us again. We have to get out of here. This isn't the time for me to just be running around. Fine, let's see what I can do. Hanyu's face. Rika! Hanyu, I know you still can't believe in hope, just like always. Stay there and see what my stubbornness can do. I'm going to change this base. I'm going to do it right here. Let me show you what I'm capable of. Alright everyone, we're going to finish this right now. Take down whoever's in front of you. Then we're going to grab that car and get out of here. Yes, I'm going to do this. You go, Rika. Alright, let's go! On Keiichi signal, we attack 6 of the mountain dogs in unison. Oh. Time gradually slowed down. I truly felt like I was trying to overcome that impossible wall of time and change my fate. Wherever time continued to slow even further, it stopped. What's going on? It felt like the film reel of a movie had gotten hung up partway through, like time itself had come to a standstill. Hanyu, what's this all about? The time has come. It's like, how is she communicating with Hanyu? Is it like time slowed down for her in a literal sense here when she's communicating with Hanyu? What? Why?